5 seconds.
Most I bless the children, give thanks.
That's the part, right?
True.
Highly blessed.
That's sad.
1 second, baby.
Blessed.
Irie.
1 second.
Rastafari.
Let me just share my screen. Yes, welcome again to part 2 of today's program, live streaming on the EABIC Council of Elders YouTube channel. Also, today's program is on biodiversity. Today is Sunday, January 11, 2026. Blessed.
Princess.
Princess.
Yeah.
Bless love.
That's a love.
Blessed love.
Yes. Let me pin
Don't let
you.
mama change the program.
Yes, blessed love, honor Princess
I
Asamali.
enjoy the program a lot.
All right.
Thank you.
You very much. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
Give thanks.
Before Empress Akim start, I just wanted to point out something to the Royal Empress Akim. So there was a video at the end of the youth segment. I hope you identify that that was in tribute to the eye as well.
Really?
Did you see?
Was that your voice? Were you the bird?
No, but I'm not even talking about the closing. I'm talking about the part where you're one of your persons that you say inspire you.
Oh, of
was
course.
mentioned.
Yes, as a youth.
Right?
As a
And
youth.
right after that, she said she wanted to dance, and he made her dance, and you saw her dancing.
Right. Most definitely.
Yeah, man.
Most
Yes, sir.
definitely. I give thanks.
That's
Well, I
what's up.
wanted to speak. You had posed a question, Priest Rasavana, right at the end of the youth segment. And you said something about, you asked a question about how do the mothers feel, being that we're the educators, how do we feel about that segment of diversity? And interesting enough, this past week, myself and a few of my other coworkers, we were sitting and we were just reasoning. It was myself, two other art teachers, and one of our Black history teachers. And we were talking about diversity, segregation, and things of that nature. And it shocked a few of them because I mentioned that although I embrace diversity, I also embrace segregation, the concept of separate but equal, because I think it benefits us in the education system. Being that we are more integrated now, there's less focus on the African perspective, which I think builds up our youth. It's so important that, especially be on this side of the world, in the States, we oftentimes only learn about Martin Luther King and civil rights. We're always learning about us in a oppressive state and not in a liberated state. And so I just wanted to, even with the children listening, that it is important that, of course, that our parents teach us about our African history. But it's also important that we do embrace diversity, but learning not to lose ourselves in assimilation,
Mm, mm.
because I really hope that we will come to the place again where, again, in the States, even though I'm ready to repatriate, really. But the school that I teach is predominantly minority, majority African American and Hispanic, some Asian, very few. I can count on one hand how many Caucasian children are there, and teachers. And I love that, because it gives me the opportunity to pour into our children the foundation of learning about the culture. Because for me, again, you brought up Bob Marley, and I give thanks to my parents who embrace African culture that I learned early on. And it gave me a sense of pride, instead of just learning about civil rights, and that we were always fighting and dogs chasing us. We would see those videos over and over and over again every year for Black History Month. And as a young person, having a bit of wisdom that I had, I just knew that this is not our only story. And personally, I don't want to see these videos any longer. Being chased by dogs and water hose down. And so again, to address diversity, diversity is good, but segregation, separate but equal, is also empowering to our people. And it would be lovely to see our schools again where we can, create curriculum that has a broader lesson plan on our history instead of, that being a small segment. And then I wanted to bridge in the segment about diversity and about the herbs. One of my students, and some young people, I don't know, and maybe some of us have this, I guess I would say, this weird desire to have senses for different things. One of my students in the art class loved the smell of the markers. And she would sit there and just want to sniff the markers. And I was like, why are you smelling that? And some love the smell of gasoline, right? So to bring in the point of about the herbs and the power of the herbs, I work with essential oils, which are the oils that are distracted from the herbs. And I created her because I told her it wasn't natural for her to be smelling chemicals, and that she was either lacking something. One that dealt with iron deficiency myself. Oftentimes when you're deficient in minerals and herbs, you do have a desire to smell certain things, and then usually it's metals. And so when you have that kind of, they call it pica, usually women that are pregnant and they are lacking minerals and herbs, they will have a desire for certain things. And it's usually the metals of the earth. And so I just wanted to share that I created her a mixture of herbs, which is, you all in the Caribbean call it fever grass. I love lemongrass is what we call it over here. And a mixture of, lemongrass, cinnamon oil, and lavender to help with the senses. So I'm glad that you bridged these things together today. Because it is beneficial to our children as well. If our children are dealing with, tiredness and different things from school, lavender baths, and giving them the opportunity to smell the different oils, and lemongrass is also relaxing. Just those things alone are very, very good that we should be educating our children about as well. Give thanks.
Yeah, to the chair,
Yes, Honorable.
I want to jump in right away before I forget. The Empress just talk about segregation and biodiversity. Now, our diversity, not biodiversity, because biodiversity stands predominant. There's no negative side to biodiversity, but diversity now. When we say diversity, we are not referring to hybridization, to creating hybrids, which is what I am understanding from what you said, Royal Empress Akim.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it in the sense that very few people, even if they have taught it, have spoken out in public, embracing segregation. Because we all have been taught that segregation was harmful and segregation was this and that. It is out of segregation that we created a Tulsa, Oklahoma, African village, Black Wall Street. It is out of segregation that we most have prospered post-slavery. Yes, because what we're talking about now, let's get down to the crux of what segregation is and how it worked for us. I'm asking the Adam to bear with me for a second, because it's a very important understanding that we need to embrace.
Yes, sir.
Or at least to hear it. You don't have to embrace it, because this is not a dictatorship, but at least know the other side of what segregation is compared to the stereotypes side that we have been taught. When we were forced to spend our dollar, or let's call it our black dollar, with the black businesses, we created success. What we did, we turned a weapon that was used against us, we found an antidote for it, and we turned it around, and we used it as a tool instead of a weapon. Segregation was to keep us in our place, to keep us subdued, keep us dumb, to keep us, you understand? At that time, to teach a Negro to read was a crime. They did not want us to know how to analyze, critically think, and come up with solutions and answers for ourselves. They did not want us to relearn the magic of our ancestors, the science that our ancestors used. So they created segregation where, yes, we were allowed at, after a time, to start to learn to read and write, but our education system was trash, was subpar. We couldn't go into the black stores, black restaurants, white restaurants, white stores, white bathrooms, white enterprises. We could not enter them as Negroes. Right here in Florida, in Miami, the great Sammy Davis Jr., who was one of the first black entertainers to break the racial barrier in the entertainment world, came to Miami here to perform. And when he was finished performing on Miami Beach for all those well-to-do whites and others, he could not get a room in that region that is filled with rooming houses, with motels, hotels, whatever you want to call them. He had to leave from there because that was whites only, and go over to a place they call Overtown and Liberty City to find lodging. Okay, no problem. But you know what that did for us? It made him have to spend him money amongst the black entrepreneur that owned the room in house. Wherein he would have did spend that money if he could have stayed on the beach with the white people or the whoever. So I'm just giving you an overview of how it worked for us. We could not go into, call it Walmarts back then. We had to go down to Mr. Sambo and, you understand, Uncle Tom and Uncle Benji's store. And that's where we had to spend our money. So the black dollar stayed in the black neighborhood for a certain period of time to help the black neighborhood to develop. Now, check the stats. The black dollar doesn't stay but a few hours
Hours?
in
Oh, yeah,
in the black neighborhood. Okay?
minutes.
And it tells you the stats is, yeah, yeah, man, you're right, my lord. But I'm saying just overall, if we look at the reality of it, if you look at the stats, the Asian dollar stays a longer period of time in the Asian community. The you understand? All the other ethnicities, their dollar stays longer in their neighborhoods than the black dollar. Even in the majority black island. And I can
Right
that
now.
go on
Yeah.
a repeat with you.
Yeah. The Indian dollars stays in the Indian community. Yeah. Cause they place well industrious black man. The most them have is like a little parlor, what we call like a little shop up here, up there. So yes, it's a strategy them use for we integration. Integration is what we're talking there, so because that's not even diversity. That is integration with the tech, where they start take away the strength of our dollar and we start put it out all over, you know, my
And it's that
God.
they taught us, they taught us that integration was the
Yeah,
positive and
yeah,
segregation was the negative. So
Yeah,
I give thanks, Empress Kim, to hear
yeah,
a female step out and say something like that. You
yeah, man.
understand? 'Cause I'm sure you're making your other sisters now think about what you have just said.
Yeah, natural.
Yeah, it's just very important though that we make sure that our children don't look at their culture once they assimilate. Because I applied to several colleges and I got into historically black colleges, but I chose to go to a predominantly white college. My father was a bit upset, but at that point, because I had the blessing of being able to grow up in my culture. So you talk about, Black Wall Street. I grew up in an area in Charlotte that was all black teachers, black businesses, barbershops, hair salons. Both my grandparents
Yeah,
had hair salons on the same road. So I grew up around seeing wealthy, comfortable black people. And so for me, I did choose at that point of education to assimilate. But I give thanks that it made me even go deeper within my own culture because I was able to reflect and learn. And so at that point too, when our youth get a little older, if they choose, we just have to educate them to let them know that embrace who you are. Don't assimilate to the point that you lose your culture. But diversity is good. Diversity is good, but segregation is powerful for us. It's powerful for us. So give thanks that you were able to glean a little bit more and go in a little more detail about it, because we do look at segregation as a negative thing, but it benefited us because we were supporting one another. And I was able to see that growing up. I was able to see
yes,
that the farmers would come and bring their foods and their fruits from the farms, and we didn't get our produce oftentimes from the grocery stores. And so, yeah, but you don't see those things now. You don't see that much now here in the States. So, yeah, give thanks.
And diversity does not mean that, again, diversity does not mean that we have to miscegenate. We have to mix in that way. You understand? It doesn't mean that we have to corrupt our culture to embrace or to give respect to another culture. For myself, I love Buddhism. Sorry, family. It's just me. It might sound away. I love Buddhism. Why? They have a humility in how they
very,
live
very,
things. And
very.
I found that my people could do well with some of that form of humility because we have had to foster anger so much because of what we have went through. Now they can be as humble as they are because they did not endure half of what we have. I'm not saying they did not have their struggles, but our struggles is unimaginable unless you have been a black person in that black skin going through that whiteness. You would not understand what I and I is saying. You can read it, you can watch it on TV, but living it is a total different thing. So diversity does not mean giving up who you are to take on something else. It means giving respect to someone else's way. You want to pray on your knee facing the west, that is your thing. More power to you. I pray on mine facing the east. And I'm not going to make you an enemy and I'm not going to label you as something, whatever, because you're not praying in the direction that I am.
That is
That's what
diversity.
that's what we're talking about diversity. Our Majesty was the perfect example of diversity. That's why he was given the title Defender of the
Defender
Faith,
of faith.
because he saw it prudent for every ethnicity to have the right to worship as they see fit. And he fostered that in his realm. They say on one street you can find a Presbyterian church, uh, Orthodox church, a Catholic church, and whatever other things on one street going down. And they say that Our Majesty, at some point throughout his tenure,
Did it
attended
all
service
again. All
at
of
all of them, all of them, and was honored by the leaders of all of them
All of them.
because of how yes. So that's diversity. He did not he did not relinquish being an Orthodox or an Oriental Orthodox Taoist um, faith practicer. He just gave respect to Taoism, to Buddhism, to whatever else is there. As long as you have the humility to know that it's not about you, because that is what faiths are. One's acknowledging that there's a higher power and a higher source than themselves. See? And as long as we're all as humans acknowledging that, that's what's important.
My
And it's
Lord.
also important to accept that you have the right to do that. So I will fight
Rastafari.
for the right of a Christian to be Christian, but I also have the right to be Rastafari. Blessed Lord.
Listen, my Lord. And the floor is open, my Lord and Empress. Any comments? Very interesting program. Any thoughts?
Blessed love, my Lord and Majesty.
And I will praise us for my Lord.
Great day. A lot of good information. And as the priest just said, diversity. We are diverse people. That's why we are considered Bobo Shanti Rastafari. And when they push us away and discriminate us and everything else, that make us become together and become stronger. And your suggestion, what you came about with, permaculture is the solution. So that we could be the doctors of the planet and do all that we have to do and study more and do more research and know that it's not something to just talk about, but it's something to think about and start to act on for us to be able to regain who we are and to reach the way we want to reach to, or even to create a new diverse aspect in our life so the children could take something and don't feel they have to be like nobody else, but within the same segregation, use that to get us stronger. So I give thanks for all the good reasonings, all the good conversations, such an important factor of the things of the ecosystem and all the changes and all the history and so much information today. A
My
mighty
Lord.
day. Thanks, my Lord and
Bless
Empresses.
them. And my Lord
And
and
I,
Empress, and while we're talking, I want to throw this in the ether. I'm going to start with this verse. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. Okay, put a pin right there. But you know how our culture stay. No development down here in the West. All development in Africa. Yet still today, we reason like custodians of the earth. So, what my meditation would show I, wherever we are, let us build a little paradise there. We looking to go forward, but that not mean to say we neglecting because we get a piece of land in the mountain here. But when we look at what we're building, it's like a little ghetto. We not have no architect. We not take no pride. We not have no nice park. We have real estate, but you no development down here in the West. All development in Africa. What do I then think of such statement, my lord? Food for thought.
For this year, Honorable Priest Brown,
Yes, please.
my Lord, that statement I personally interpreted was based upon the Batawe principle that was a lot of early Rastas begin with. But the problem when come about when they could not continue in such a format and to take a family. Up till now, the fo- this that's where the struggle begins because how to approach family responsibilities living outside of Africa and maintain all of the standards is a challenge.
My Lord.
Understand? So
Yes, sir.
many got lost because in my journey, that is one of the chief things, bridges. You see, I came across because when came to the fact, all right, I gave up the land lease land because of that same policy.
Yeah.
When I was not sent to Africa and sent back to Clarendon, I received inheritance. For me, thinking at my little legalistic level, I said the only way I could maintain that first commitment was that this property would become a holding of the Congress. Now, that is where we come in touch with all of the problems in Jamaica about legislation, registration, and get to learn all the whole legal things set out. So, as we say, that first ideology came upon that Freeman Batawe tribe, but then approaching family responsibilities, then that's where everything come contrary. Because then, simple, when a man choose for set for the camp, then go out to the camp and own a piece of land and start work. It was a tendency to look at him as a backslider or in turn back. No one ever sit down to protect and the importance of a brethren living out a camp having a vineyard. We go visit him and get things. But the whole legal procedure and security and everything, it was lacking. Me see that I have to tell ones I want. So when you go out, you can't bake a bread and pudding and something and okay, go give the man the word and get things from him. So give thanks, my Lord and Empress.
My Lord. Bless.
Yeah, really, honorable chair. It's a
Yes.
religiosity. Religiosity is a thing that one of the things them that I highlighted in something I posted. Religion has been the one of the worst in form of enslavement that I and I as a people have gone through. The Honorable Empress Akim on another platform had shared a video defining Christianity. And the Royal Empress, she can speak for herself, but she thought she had held it back for a time because she thought it was a kind of strong definition of someone's faith, you know. But in reality, it's not even just about one form of religion. It's about religion, period.
Period.
It does harmful effects to I and I, Rasta, because we think it locks your mind, it encases your mind in a tunnel vision, and it's not like you're seeing any beauty at the end of that tunnel. It's just a lot of animosity and a lot of ego and a lot of confrontation that is at the end of that tunnel. Because now I say this to say, ones will hear this because this is live streaming, and ones will say, then Adam kind of backward way Bubba lived or Bubba did live. Family, yeah, let's give some clarity here. This was not the principle of the Black Christ, the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Ones come and get culture that is floating around, that ones are projecting from their own, whether it is understanding or misunderstanding. And because it is being spoken in the camp, and a lot of us coming in new, hearing it in the camp, we embrace it, and then we have this tendency to say, Dada say, the father say, King Emmanuel say. When most of the time, ones who are saying that I've never heard him say it out of his mouth himself. Now, I make that disclaimer right there. And then I'm going to give a practical example right now. For many, many years, Priest IAP, and if one's within the bubble live, been in the live for any period of time, you would all know who I'm talking about. He's one of our esteemed elder. When you talk about esteem, he's one of our divine elders. Okay? Lived a standard life for decades that I know him. I can Others can speak to before, but for the decades that I know the priest, the honorable priest lived a above standard life, an exemplary life. He and his queen, they were, yeah, you know. And for most of the time that I know the priest, he lived outside of the camp. He was in country. When he's coming in, he comes in with a truckload of food from his farm. And when he comes in with his wife, Sarah, the place was like a big party. The father was so happy to see him. He was known as a divine elder among us, treated with high respect. And he never resided in the camp, and the father never held him anyway for that. He did not. And that elder, if that was the principle that he had to stay in the camp, he would have stayed in the camp. Because everyone who know him knows him as a principle man. So that was not a principle established by the father. The father, I've, once I've heard, I have heard the second hand, so I can't say I heard it. But once who have given testimony, I've said that I've heard the father say already, if everyone that came to him was to reside upon the hill, there would be no space. Ones need to come and learn and go and teach. Honorable Priest Ainsley, you can speak to this. You were a man of that. You experienced that in your early days when you dealt with the Father and you wanted to carry your following over to the Father, what the Father said. You can speak to that, my Lord. Honorable.
Yes, my lord. Oh, go ahead. Someone just come on me. Go ahead.
Yes, so there are
Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, my lord. Yeah, well, personally, Jai is a man when me went by Dada, we never had no plans. It it did kind of just build up in Trinidad where enough ones start coming and love the trad. So it a get big now, too big for me, which part me say, make we write the man and just tell me, well, me say the key was to send a priest down here. And the man tell me, well, come up the first before you can send when I'm priest. And as it go, just say, me say, my lad, after a while, I me say, my lad, enough of we in Trinidad love there, Jah. And what me tell them, master? Should I tell them to get a passport and come up here? Say, we are poor and have not, need my food for tomorrow, but, just say, no, my lad. What you see here, you tell them there, and we meet on the Golden Shores of Africa. So you ever look to spread himself out. But what's the reason that I bring up praise? Really, it's not like that. Why I'm saying, cause I look at the examples I even see here in Trinidad to see the prime real estate what the man them get. And they through this meditation to say no development down here in the West. It's like they just throw up some kind of little, you know, shamba like. And I say, my lord, whichever part we do, we for have a beautiful place. It's not a development, but we want to where we are. We must think and look to say, well, you know, utilize. I did have a meditation and say, when they see we left and go Africa, the people that are going to run up in the place and say, boy, you so that man used to live, boy, some royal. You know that way they so? And it's that kind of but when I listening to how man talk, It's like, not even two fruit trees, no coconut trees. Because of that meditation, when I say no development down here in the West. But we look on the earth, and today we're talking as custodians of the earth. And here the first we start off with the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. So it's just a kind of a contrast in my mind. That's why I fling it out to say, with the idea think of that. You know? You understand what I'm saying, Chris?
Yeah, man, I understood you from the beginning. I was just responding to Priest Brown's statement,
All
that
right.
that's the problem he
Right.
came up on, that,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
were not allowed to, and it's true, because that's the culture I and I got to same way. You just let go the world and come to Jah, and just left everything out there and just come to Jah. Seeing, when in reality, and also the vibe go, because like the father himself said, him never, and this is not second hand now. I and I have heard the father say it. Him never know same whether they down here so long. So it's a reality that is the sentiment of, my lord, is not, I don't even know how to express this, that ones don't um take it the wrong way. But it's not everything that we deduced went exactly as how we perceived it, family. And what I am alluding to is the first set of Rastafari did not believe that they would die in the West here, die in Jamaica. None of them. If you would have had the chance to ask them, and if you look back on some of the interviews with some of them, they did not have no intention of dying in Jamaica. They had a conviction that their liberation would have come, whether it was 7 or 9 or 13 mile of high water ship, or however. But they deduced that they were going home. So that sojourner type mentality was justified within that era. But in looking at things now on a more
Yeah.
practical level, now that we are some distance away from when independence occurred, and looking at how the world is developing, we see that it is good to live good wherever you are and to be successful, because when you do go home, you're transferring that energy, that atmosphere, that normalcy with you to Africa. It's the same way if we continue on in the sackcloth and ashes mentality. That's what we're going on with. And I saw it. That is one of the things that I had brought up to the council some time ago when I saw the video with the Virgin them in Kenya, how they are developing as native indigenous Kenyans. You understand? They are not
Yeah.
understanding the reality that it's their home. That's their heaven.
Yes.
Because the culture that we are giving them is making them look at their environment as a colonial one, or however. See, we are not saying that the governments are the best. We are not saying that the leaders are the best. We're not saying, but what we are saying is that they are our people. It's our home. We're not in the Taino home. We're not in the Native American home, or the whoever. We are in our heaven. We don't need to be building no Wackland Dab.
Rastafari.
We need to be a palace liberty the emperor come teach us about. The emperor is who set the standard. Now him is the power of the Trinity. The man set the standard, a palace living. Marcus Garvey come teach you for one ship. Then are we going to go back to Wackland Dab when we're saying there we are following on the coattails and the footprints and thing of those heroes. Those heroes was about Dada taught us. You were Dada taught us now that our father, it's something one of the favorite saying of the father of Dada. Our father is money mint and Bible owner. Money mint and Bible owner. That means that our father own all things. Him is wealthy. Him is, we're not talking about riches now.
You would
We're
well
not
anytime.
going. Yes, man, him have the whole world. That is what that orb, when he was crowning and he
Yes.
sat on the throne with that is what that orb symbolizes. He has the whole world in him, man. Seeing? So it's not sackcloth and ashes liberties, palace and kings and queens and emperors and empresses. My lord.
Rastafari. And the floor is open, you know, we have 17 people and we know hear from the historian, Honorable Prophet Okito, you know. Floor is
Chair,
open, my lad.
chair.
Someone call for
Empresses,
the chair.
My lord,
Empress,
I will, my lord,
yeah.
Hold on. Is a brethren call? All right, empress.
Priest,
please
go
tell
ahead,
the
Priest
master.
Brown.
Where's the
Um,
Empress?
Priest
just
Brown.
Go
to
ahead,
just
priest
to give
Brown.
yeah, just to give some approval to what you just said, Honorable Priest Havana, because it was my choice because of the party that I gave up. That I tell me I could stay on the land this land and just come to camp and visit here. But at the culture and at that time and everything, I saw it best to give up that connection with the system to fully entrench myself in the teachings at Jerusalem schoolroom. So just to end that was always hoping for expansion and development of his people, my Lord and Empress.
My lord.
And to the chair.
Yes,
Um,
Empress.
yes, based on what Honorable Priest Rasavana was speaking about, and not that we're going off topic because this is all part of the topic of diversity, biodiversity, coexisting, not only with nature, but with ourselves. That's why it's very important. Communication is so very important because, we want to make certain that the information gets out in the correct manner in which the information is supposed to be dispelled. We want to make certain that as empresses, sisters, queens, and so forth, that we are teaching our youths the right and leading them in the right, teaching them the right and leading them in the right direction. We want to make certain that our youths can be all that they can be, whether they want to be farmers, whether they want to be entrepreneurs, whether they want to be, doctors, or whatever career path they may feel that they may need to choose, because the generations that they will be coming up, their generation coming up, will be learning even more than we are learning right now because we are in that information age. So it is important that this information, and I give thanks for this program, especially since we divided it up between the youths and the adults, because the youths need to know that they have a part to play. If they're chewing, let's say just rather chewing gum, don't throw the wrap on the ground. If they're eating something, don't throw the wrap on the ground. They don't filth the earth, because that same earth is what is going to feed you. Don't, to do those things that are right. We want to make certain, you look at the elders and you see that the elders, many of the youths of the elders are not even in the Rast. And I'm just speaking as for Rastafari right now. It's not in the liberty of Rastafari. They have lived Rastafari growing up. They know and understand the tenets of Rastafari, but they are not living the life of Rastafari. And why is that? Because there's something between in the changing of the guards that is happening that is not being carried over to the youths. It's just as now as elders, the elders are supposed to pass the tradition and all the teachings and all the learnings on to the next generation. But if the elders continue hold on to that information, then it would be no use to the next generation. It's just like a baker. If a baker knows how to bake good cake or bake good tart or what have you, but they never pass on that information to anyone else, when they transition, that knowledge goes with them. So I glorify and give thanks for the Council of Elders. It's not all about us, the religious side of I and I. It's about, us teaching ones. It's about, that Jerusalem schoolroom on a different level. It's about making certain that the government is run right. It is about making certain that our youth grow up right, and they get that right, correct teaching. So I do give thanks and glorify in all that we are doing and all the information that we are sharing with the entire world who is watching these programs, because it's not only I and I who are seeing them. Is many, many others out there that we may not know, that may never, but we may touch the heart of someone and help them to understand the reason why they have been doing something, or the reason why we have been doing something, or, and put it together and make it as a whole and make it work for them. Blessed love, my Lord and Empress.
Give
Majesty bless
thanks.
Empress.
Give
Yes,
thanks.
step Rastafari. And
I
as we
will.
say, as we
Yes.
say, we address all aspects of
Priest
humanity.
Ansley,
Yes.
Sister Ayata is saying something.
Yes,
Ah,
I
okay.
give
Honorable Empress,
thanks
go ahead.
in prayer, and Lord. Give thanks for the eye them works. I have a concern here, about where the biodiversity is concerned with adults and children, health and unhealthy eating, because we need good quality food,
Correct.
because
True.
we're not preparing our food ourselves. We don't have any property to plow. The property is not available for people to cultivate their own food and all of that, and then we're depending on the shelf food, which is not good, which is depleting our life. Globally, we're not getting no good food anywhere, because because of the modification of all of these food, and the water and everything. So we don't know how to address it, where to go. We have no real place to go address all these concerns. And our children are getting depleted. They're not healthy, because they're not, from birth, there is no healthy food. For both adults and children. Everywhere, especially in the United States here, where people don't have a piece of land to cultivate nothing. And then
I
now we
understand.
tell that we face a lot of distress. The children, they're not able to think collective because of unhealthy eating.
True.
Well, snack counters and all yourself is available, and no land to create healthy, to cultivate healthy food.
True,
And
sister.
where cultivation is concerned, we cannot cultivate because we are homeless. Most of the people in the world are homeless. If you have to pay rent or have mortgage, you are homeless. These people
Who
cultivate.
that?
These people they create a lot of homeless and unhealthy people. Homeless people and homeless and unhealthy nations. That's what these elder state cultivate. They create.
True.
They push us back, take away our wealth and all this, and keep us backward and foolish. So when we talk about cultivating, we cannot venture into cultivation, because people don't have, millions of people in this world don't have no property. They take it away. We don't have no space. So we are unable to, when somebody take away your food from you and tempting you with it, what gonna happen to us after almost centuries without good food? We not saying that's why we are so backward and foolish and things, things are cruel,
Hear you, mom.
without any human instinct. We are mostly beastly instinct.
Hear you,
Because it is
mama.
brutal. There is you are there anyone thinking good or thinking real collective. Because most of us don't know that we are brothers and sisters.
So true.
We think we are deadly
I hear you.
strangers, you know?
Yes, I hear you,
And
mama.
this,
Hear
and
you.
this, we need to bring back a lot of things, like when we give birth to a child, we carry them out in the center community or of the country or of the community or in the city. Will make people come and bless them and know them. That's when they see them, they don't know they know them and we know them. We know each other. We don't know.
Delegation.
We're not saying
Yes.
we're not going to say where this person come from. I want to kill him. We need to bring back this where we carry the children in the community and bless them and everyone come and bless them up, give them half for them the blessing. There's a lot
Give
of things,
thanks.
going on what is not right now with us, so we must become foolish like how we is now.
Give
We have a
thanks, Mama.
generation of fools. Most people most of us are crazy. That's why the heads of state are so crazy. And they are our people and they don't realize that they're coming from us.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Give thanks.
My Lord and Empress, give thanks.
Give thanks.
I
Yeah,
would like
Mama.
to speak whenever I have the opportunity after the Empress, the Elder, please.
Yeah, my Lord and Empress. Oh, blessing,
Boy,
family. Bless the Lord.
Hey, Mama
traveling,
May, Sweet Mother.
traveling
Mama
traveler.
Maggie.
My Lord, yeah. I am back.
Queen
I am
Mother.
back. Just
Give
coming in
thanks.
and don't even say clap to join. So I'm listening. Love your family. I am here.
And your voice
Bless.
coming strong. We hearing you clear today.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes, I.
Yes, my Lord. Thank you.
Yes,
Honorary
Empress.
Chair, Honorary
Yes.
Chair, before you let go, Empress Akim, to just highlight a couple points that the Empress, in our nice, simplistic way, just lay out for us. She spoke about unhealthy eating, and because of unhealthy eating here, what she said is one of the consequence of it. Them not think right. More time people don't correlate those things, to know that part of why we don't have good meditation is because we're not eating what fosters good meditation.
Mm.
So, Empress, that is a serious point you have highlighted right there. You know, the other point that she's making strongly is that the lack of land. Some of us take it for granted because true we have been out there and maybe we get a little piece of land from grandpa and thing. But if you really check the stats, it is really maybe a 10% of I and I that have any real land that we can say we have land. See, majority of the people are working stiffs. They don't own no land. You understand? Them paying rent, them living in somebody else's place. See, because that is the culture that they have grown us up into. See, especially in the latter days. You inherit a lot of ones in the islands, in Jamaica, where I and I come from. Most of I and I grandparents had some little piece of land somewhere. And when them pass, them leave it to I and I, to them children and so forth. Majority of the time, the children them sell it
Mm.
to go live in the city or to go away or for whatever. Majority of the time. And today it is even worse. When you see the
Mm.
youth today and you talk to them about land and farming is out there thing. It's like you're telling him bad word, It's like you're telling him something. It's like all right, the man this little thing nowadays. It's like you disrespect them. I saw them making what? Bridget, and I'm gonna end with this. My Bridget came from overseas and was doing some business in Westmoreland in Negril. And he came across one of his schoolmates in a seat, and the schoolmate hailed him up and said him never know he was back and whatever, and asked him to buy him a beer and things. So him said, buy him a beer and buy him all a spliff too. So him sister not now go on to the youth. So the next time now him spot him, the youth hail him and him said to the youth, say, so I can get you a job at wherever. The youth turn wheel on him and show him two hand middle and say, my lord, you think them man they look like they make for work?
Mm. Mm.
That's a mentality that a set of these generation. You see, you talk about the scammers. You all hear about these scammers in the islands. Yes, it's that generation. Seeing they are not into using their hands for nothing else but my Lord and Empress.
This is why we still have to give thanks to each other, Empress Sister Ayata. We have to give thanks to each other, like-minded people, and the little act cut down big tree, for putting it in a simple way. Little act cut down big tree. So some big tree we are get ready to throw down, man. So give thanks and welcome coming in, 'cause we don't meet by coincidence. Just have a plan. Blessed love, my Lord and Empress. Floor is open.
Empress Akim.
Yes, I
Empress
want to. Oh,
Akim.
yes, Elder. Thank you, Empress Trisha. I wanted to lift up a few points too that Sister Ayada had mentioned, as well as Priest Rasavana. Um, the Empress is right in that, it's very important that we teach our youth too. And I think we have, to some extent, depending on where you live. I'm here in the West, so you can get very spoiled with the how can I put it? With the usage of technology to some extent. You get used to having, I'll just use washer and dryer for an example, right? You get used to having these things that make life very comfortable. You get used to having running hot water in the house. Some of these things that our children have never been without. We also take we take what's the word I'm trying to say? I'm sorry. My meditation I've been thinking really hard. We don't see the importance of having natural food is another thing that Empress Ayada brought up. One day at school, one of the teachers was eating some grapes, and they were seeded grapes. And she shared it with one of the students, and the student spit it out because they had never had grapes before with seeds. And so there are so many things that our youth are not experiencing due to, how our system is. And I will say personally for myself growing up, there were times when we would, fall on hard times. I was used to having a washer and dryer. I was used to having hot water. But when money got tight, there were times when I had to learn how to boil water to have hot water, right? And I'm grateful for those times because they humbled me. And so one thing that Priest Rasavana had brought up is that oftentimes when we look at Africa as being that very meek and humble living. But yes, there is in Africa as well those liberties or those freedoms of having technology and things that make our lives easier. I think it's important for all of us that we learn a balance, because what sticks out to me is that having survival of the fittest, being able to maneuver and still have a peace of mind, and not get thrown off, the balance by the lack of having things, you know. So for me, when I experienced those things as a youth, having to boil water because it's freezing outside and I'm not used to taking a bath with cold water. That helped me. So when I went to the hills of Clarendon in Jamaica and I didn't have running water in the house that I stayed in, right? And it's cold outside. I even bathed in the river, right? Survival. That's what I look at, right? And I see the people still happy and smiling and the children are running around. In the States, children will experience that, they will lose their minds, right? So I see the benefit of having that balance in life, that yes, you can have these things that make you very comfortable, but can you survive if they're taken away? Having to take a shower outside, no running water inside, having to use the restroom outside. These things are all about perspective as well. So if we were, times had gotten hard for ones and those things are taken away, will you be able to survive? And I think that with our children, we don't want to spoil them to the extent that if those kind of things were taken away, that they would not be able to survive. They will be depressed. And, and I've taught my children those things, that if you lack this, that doesn't mean that you have to become unhappy or you're less than. How can you now maneuver in life without those things? And when I look at the continent, I often study the indigenous people who still live amongst the earth. I love it For some reason, I'm gravitated towards it. My children's father, who's from Congo, Africa, he used to always call me a village girl when we were together, because I've had the best of both worlds. I've had everything, but also when I had everything, I choose not to use everything, because I just saw a balance in it. The beauty of living off the earth. you know Gold and silver may not be some of the jewels that the ones that live off the land use, but they have bees and they have wood and they're eating the herbs, and so I think that it's important that even us too, that we keep that balance in life, that it is all perspective. What is wealth truly? Is it what we have been told is wealthy, or the wealth is in the land? It's the trees. It's, again, we talk about biodiversity. It is the herbs. It's the things that sustain us, and keep us mentally and spiritually healthy. It's the sun. It's not always an air condition. I love when I go to Jamaica and it's hot, 90 degrees outside. Lift up the windows, sweat a little bit, not having all these comforts, will actually strengthen you. Again, keeping in mind the survival of the fittest is important, that we teach our children that. And so I just wanted to lift that up. Give thanks.
Give thanks, Honorable Empress Akim, for that. And I would like to add also to the chair, I would also like to add, the way that the earth is being destroyed. Man is using so many different chemicals in the earth that even when you do grow food, it's food that is no good for you. One of the things that I took a class, and one of the things that we were taught is that man or people would be dying from curable diseases, although they're saying that they're eating natural. I'm going to repeat that. People would be dying from curable diseases, although we are eating natural. And I say that because you spoke about the grapes. We're eating all these fruits and vegetables, and we think we're eating healthy, and if it doesn't have a seed in it, it's no good. And then another thing that they have done is they've changed up on the words. So back in the day, it was genetically modified organisms. So we know we would keep away from food that was genetically modified and try to eat as much as natural as you can. Now they're using the words bioengineered. The foods are being bioengineered. For whatever reason, they're not using GMOs
GMO. Yeah.
anymore, right? Genetically modified organisms, GMOs
GMOs. Yeah.
anymore. They're not using those words anymore. If you look on the
Yeah.
packages, that's why it's important to read the packages of anything that you pick up in a store, because
True.
it would never say GMO anymore. It would say bioengineered.
Huh.
This product contains bioengineered foods. And I see
Okay.
it a lot working in a school, in a school program, lunch program. I've seen it firsthand a lot, specifically within the last year or two. I would say 2 or 3 years, I would say.
Yeah.
And reading the packages, because we were trained to read packages. And when you're looking, you're just seeing it, but you're not, but when you look up the words, it's the same thing.
Yes.
Same
Yeah.
exact thing. They just
Yeah.
coining it different.
Yeah.
So eating
Political
healthy,
correct.
yeah. So, like the Empress, the sister did say earlier, we need to be able to farm. And if you're living in an apartment, it's just as sometimes it's not the easiest things, putting your stuff in a pot, putting it next to the window if you have a window, or, growing something in the house, a corner of the house or something. That's what we have to begin to do. There's over 70 or 75% of bioengineered foods that are in the stores and it may be even more now, that is no good. I've heard them speak of bananas that are no good. There's specific numbers that they're putting on the fruits that tell you whether it's modified or not, whether it was
Yeah.
engineered or not, and whether it's organic or not. And we have to also remember that organic doesn't 100% means natural. And what
Natural.
organic means that they didn't use pesticides on it. Doesn't mean that they didn't do something else to it, but it just means that they didn't use pesticides on it. My Lord, and bless it.
Yes, and if I can piggyback off of well, not piggyback. If I
Back.
can, yeah, if I can,
Bet you back.
right. So I'm glad that you brought up about the school system. Our children eat so bad here, and then we wonder why they're not learning. Our children are in school 8 hours a day, and the food that they get is horrible, And a lot of things, like you said, Empress Trisha, we're eating fruit, but the fruit has no benefits, and so we are depleted. I feel my best when I'm in the islands. I know that the fruit is real. I know even the atmosphere, and so here in the West, it is killing us. We're thinking we're eating our vegetables, our cucumbers and all those things, and you smell them, you can smell them and know that they're not natural based on how things used to be years ago when I was younger. So fruits and vegetables are truly killing us. They are truly killing us. And I know I'm ready to leave this place. I
Have
am
you
ready to leave this
have
place.
you ever cut a watermelon and never see a seed in it? I mean,
Yes,
how
of
natural
course.
is
Yeah,
natural?
man, there are
It's in
no
an
seeds
orange
that
and there's no seeds in the orange.
It
How
says it on that. Yes. So I don't buy those things that are like that. And another thing that is very scary. I've purchased fish before. I purchased fish before, and the fish, I could squeeze it like a towel,
like a
and it would bring out water and pop back in place. And so you
Yep.
know that they're creating fish in these machines now as well. I threw the whole pack away.
And
It
rice.
scared me. It
They
scared
so
me.
in
plastic
other words,
rice.
ignorance is not the enemy of knowledge. It's
Mm.
the illusion of knowledge is
Right.
the real element, is the real
Right.
enemy. For you
Right.
have a sense of knowledge, but it's an illusion you really have follow. It's red man. So that's why we give thanks for communication where, you know, Jack can speak to us through us. And we
Mhm.
Um,
hear him loud and clear,
and may I just say this one last thing? Priest,
Yes,
or this
Empress.
one other thing is I was watching the news the other day when they were doing their craziness in Venezuela. And one of the things that the oh God, I forget his name. He's a guy who is over health, health and nutrition right now. And
Kennedy.
right. And they have actually turned the pyramid, the food pyramid, they have turned it upside down. So what they're saying is that you need to eat more protein and when you're eating. But they're speaking a lot about pork and red meat and the
That,
farmers in the United States that are producing these things and coming down the chain in a couple of maybe year, if so much, our children are going to be eating a lot or being offered, let me say, because not every child eats. Our children are going to be offered foods that are even more unhealthy for them. Bless it.
blessed
To
love.
the chief,
Our
to the
foods
chef.
Yes.
right now come from China. So go ahead, priest.
Yes, my lord.
Biodiversity, Yeah, we are losing
Correct.
biodiversity
Correct.
because, yeah, they are creating, you see, any food that is commercialized is not natural. Why? Because commercialized food is a business, it's for profit, it's not for
Correct.
health. It's not for health. There's nothing in their business plan that says that we are in this thing to provide health. We are in this thing to make a profit.
Yeah.
And
The
we are gonna
mission
grow.
statement. The mission
Yes,
statement.
yes, I.
Yeah.
We're gonna grow 20 acres of beetroot. And why I choose to use beetroot right now, there was some years ago there was a lawsuit from the organic beet growers that were growing indigenous strains of beet and what encroached upon their space. They had farmers coming, developing properties around them, growing the modified beet.
Beats.
Yes, and because of cross pollination, the organic beet farmers, when testing their crops, found that their crops were tainted. They were no longer uh, the breed that they were. Okay. So now we say
Yeah.
this anytime there is commercialization, it's about profit. And that's why backyard gardening, again, this is where, yeah, we are not politically inclined, but I must comment that Michael Manley, a former Prime Minister of Jamaica, has been the best Prime Minister that I have encountered in my time. Why? That was one of his claim to fame. He promoted the backyard garden. He promoted it in a way that he gave rights to anyone, to I and I, to use any piece of land that's been sitting vacant and not being used. He gave citizens the right to use it. So during his tenure, you found all kind of places plant up. You could have pull up wherever and get your organic callaloo because they were not growing those callaloo and those pop chow or bok chai with and tomatoes and stuff with any fertilizer. It was animal manure that they were using in their production during that period of time. Seeing that we didn't get into the whole heap of fertilizing thing yet. But that whole principle of backyard gardening, if
Yeah.
it wasn't for that, as Rastafari in the 70s, in the late 60s and 70s, I and I would have struggled even worse.
Hmm.
Huh.
Understand? That is what saved I and I, that kept, yeah, because remember now we didn't work for Babylon. We didn't have no income coming in. Except we created it through craft and arts and farming. But you could all, and I was always farming. So what I didn't have, I knew where to go check my virgin and get it. If I needed pepper, if I needed carrot, if I needed what I didn't have in my space, I knew which virgin was growing it because that was the culture of the moment. See, they have changed all of that. They have moved away. What they are putting on properties now is buildings, skyscrapers, multi units, multi
Big
dwelling units.
big boxes. Big
Oh,
boxes
family.
with air condition. That's it. Because the architect nowadays don't have no flair. It's just big boxes and air condition.
So we always leave solutions. We have
Yeah.
highlighted the problem, but
Yeah.
we are a solution oriented people. Now the
Yeah.
solution. What is the solution, family? I won't even say this. Let me hear from the idea. What do I and I see as the solution to some of these problems that were just highlighted? To the chair. Back to the chair.
I pray the eye through the chair.
Floor is open. Go ahead, Empress.
Yes, I. One good solution is that to teach the children, teach the people this, that the food, the modified food, genetically modified food is full of chemical, and all of these chemical it get in our system and eat up our system, our all of our intestine. Too much acid. This acidic food is not good for it. That is why you see, that is why we have so much people being hospitalized because of the
So,
chemical, the acidic food what is eating up our intestine out of these modified food like the flour, the cornmeal, the rice, and all these. When we're not preparing our food the right way either because we're supposed to eat uncooked food mainly. Cooked food is full of waste. We have to teach, we have to publicize this. These things need to address because that's why we have so much hospital full of people, acidic food, eating up our intestine and
Correct.
getting us sick. By the time you say, oh, that our kidney gone, our liver dysfunction with the acidic food. Too much acid in our system. We are a victim of acidic food. Plus, we're homeless. Where millions of people are homeless. These things need to address. How are we going to manage? We can't be thinking so collective because all these things are distraction to us. Big time. Creating pure food. pure fool, creating us into fools.
Yes,
I
no
pray.
man.
Natural Empress.
Give
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
Give
Give
thanks,
Yeah.
thanks.
Empress.
Or even
Rastafari.
to the chair, even purchasing organic seeds, and you have to make certain one that the seed is organic, and or getting a slip of a banana leaf or whatever from a family member or a neighbor or what have you, because as of 2012, I don't know if ones were aware, Monsanto finalized their what's the word I would say, their trade or what have you on genetically modified seeds. So a lot of the seeds in the pack, even in the packages, are no good. Every time they grow different, or they grow lighter, they grow bigger, they grow smaller, or what have you. So we have to make certain that the seeds that we're using are organic. We have to
And one of
start
the words,
conserving.
one,
Mm, go
no, I'm
ahead.
just gonna add what you're saying. One of the words that we must look for on the packet is heirloom.
Heirloom, right. Yep, I've seen them.
Honorable priest, what is heirloom?
It's an indigenous. It's telling you that it's an indigenous product.
My Lord.
That means it's an original product. It not get touched up yet.
So once you have heirloom is good.
Yes, I.
And to add to where the Empress Ayata was talking about the acidic food. So we basically need to try keep as close as possible to eating alkaline food. And
Correct.
another acidic food, you talk about starch and all this something certain oils where you use, because even the one of them called vegetable oil and the worst oil that. No vegetable
Yeah,
in
man.
that.
True.
You can get
Hydrogenated oil. Hydrogenated oil in period. You understand? If it's not coal compressed extracted,
yes.
and then it's not healthy. You
True, true.
understand? Hydrogenated oil is not good for the human temple.
True,
My
true,
lord,
man.
go ahead.
True, true. My Lord and Empress.
I wanted to highlight another thing as well. It's so funny that oftentimes some of the food that I bring into my classroom, my students will walk in and they're like, "Oh, it stinks in here." You know, our children are so detached from the benefits of natural food that they smell real onions and they think that they smell, or they smell spices like garlic and turmeric and cumin, and they think it smells. And the only children that are like, "What are y'all talking about? It smells good," are my children that are from the islands, my Hispanic students, and my African students, because their parents cook with whole foods. A lot of our children are not aware of what real food smells like, and it's very, very sad. But it offers me the opportunity to educate them that you want to use these foods in your food because they're fiery foods, they can heal, and and so they start over time seeing things in a different way. But to smell those kind of things that we're like, "Oh, that's that smells very good," they see it as smelling bad. And it's usually our African American students who are impoverished, so a lot of times their foods are box foods, and they don't really smell natural foods any longer. And another thing I wanted to pinpoint for those who are on this side of the world who don't have access to whole foods, like ones in Africa and the islands, is that I oftentimes sometimes will buy kosher food. It is Jewish, but they have strict guidelines about how food is prepared, and so it's supposed to be in this more natural state. And so, there are many options that we can educate ones on. Because again, over here, the percentage of natural food is getting very, 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 very small. And they're not hiding what they're doing. They're not hiding that they're making food in factories and machines and all of that. They're putting it, presenting it to us as if it is going to benefit us, and that it's cost effective, and that it still has nutrients. And so it's really sad. It's really sad. And like Empress Trisha had said, it's only a matter of time that people are going to be really, really sick, because the food we're having to eat because you're hungry, but you're eating food that is not there's no benefits, you know. And we're seeing it a lot. People are saying they're vegetarian, but then they're in the hospital for cancer, you know. And so it's just very sad. But give thanks.
Uh, To the chair. One of the realities that follow that Empress Akim is that you see process, that word is one of the words that we have to highlight. Processed foods. You see, process, you see,
Yo.
okay. When I go to the supermarket, whether it is in Florida here, it's Publix or Winn-Dixie. When I go to one of those supermarkets, what I'm coming out with is a small bag in my hand, because you see, inside those places, they have nothing that I consume more than so. So usually when I go there to buy, they sell the there's a drink, kombuchas. I go there to buy, yes, I go there to buy kombucha, or I go there to buy a specific, there's an organic cheese that Winn-Dixie sell, or things like specific one and two items. And remember now, this is a store filled from corner to corner. But in those stores, there's only two or three things I can buy that is conducive to my eating habit, because it's everything else is processed. It's bagged, it's packaged, it's in canned, and from it's not healthy. We have to do it because that's the world that you have come up in. That's the way that we have been programmed to feed ourselves from the supermarket. But that is the same thing that is killing us.
True.
So again, farmers market. If you can go your farmers market on your Sunday evening or your Sunday morning or whenever there, and you pick up your kale and your spinach and you can go to your West Indian store and you get your callaloo and you get it is much better. And I can't say that. I just got a picture. Sorry, I don't have to share to the item. I was by some years ago by health uh, West Indian store in Miami here, and the brethren pulled up with his van delivering callaloo. But when you look on his two hands burn like mustard gas.
Sure.
That's when they describe the
Yep.
emperor like mustard gas.
Chemical.
My
Chemical.
lord.
Chemical.
When I investigate the chemical them with the money,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
here the consolation that they give you now, it only make for last a certain period of time. So by the time them for reap it, rare, no, those things seep down into the genes of the plant.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
the plant absorbs,
Yeah.
plant leaves have pores on them. Yeah. So these are the things now that's why we're up against a wall, family. Unless we are growing our own food, unless you know where your food coming from, say your brethren round, so who is Ras like the eye, or who is a Buddhist, or even 7 day, as the Empress was talking about kosher and the Jewish, the 7 day people, you have certain 7 day people that are highly strict in their diet.
Very.
You understand? Yeah, so if you're stranded anywhere in the world and there are 7 day people there, and you're a one that eat like I and you can't, head for this, you'll find something that you can consume.
Yeah.
Royal family.
True.
My Lord.
To the
Yes, my
chair.
Lord. Yes, I.
To the chair.
Quiet, praise.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of very great information because I raised up with Dr. Sebi. That was my personal friend. I delivered my first daughter. That's 43 years ago through the holistic real life. And from an earth strong next week Sunday, I'm going back strictly vegan. Because the beets, the carrots, all them things clones. You get the mangoes, plenty as the Honorable Empress Trisha say, Monsanto's signed a contract in 2011-12 to control all the seeds, the seed bank in the world, to dominate. And anytime you're planting their food, you have to buy their chemicals for the plant to grow in that styling. So sharing plants from a neighbor to a neighbor and sharing corn plants, that's how I'm getting my thing for my agriculture. I want to do it the holistic and the organic way. And next thing I want to jump to quick and jump off is that what Priest Rashavana And the empresses, Akim and everyone was saying today, and the empress from Africa, the one who come in with some militant, authentic truth. Yes, but the foods and how we have to take care of the acids and the alkalines and balance ourselves. We must do these things because everything what King Emmanuel came to do and Prince and Right Honorable Prophet Marcus Messiah Garvey and the King of Kings, the Godhead and the Empress Menen and all the elders and the ancestors, our deities who taught us and brought us to this way to see what precisely was saying, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof is the reality. What they came to do is to tune up our minds. We have to have everything that was what we absorb today in our minds. Our mindset have to change and we have to control everything. The ecosystem, the diversity, we have to control everything. We have to take over our minds, control our thinking, and learn from each other, each one teach one. I think the problem is in the minds because we still know. I still have to eat the carrot. I still use the beets, although Dr. Save used to tell me don't eat it, and certain things. But we still have to use our mindset to think how to come out of the situation because we could save ourselves by doing the right thing. I have a brethren, Bongo Organic, he changed the seeds, even the marijuana seeds. He take it and he know to change the seeds from the seedling because he's a physicist and he know how to go deep. So we have to study, let our children educate themselves and we could grow and live out there because we know what our problems are. And we have to work on the solutions. But keeping our children with a job, no. Our children have to go to study to be better and we have to sacrifice. And this time you're like the father sacrificed for us. And children from 1 to 40 years old are going to be the rulers of the world today. Africa will have the greatest population at that by 2040. So Africa will stretch its hand and take over the earth. It's already stepped in the water dam and it's causing problems. So we have to work together and keep our minds together. With all these brilliant information I got today, I'm thankful. I'm taking long notes, I'm copying, and I want my whole mindset have to change. We have to change from inside. Everything is within, The Zion is within, The heavens, the Ark of the Covenant, the gods. We won't see them again, We'll see them in each other. So when we see each other, we see the gods that's the only gods we're going to see. Not even come out on the sky no more. Everything is within the mind. Let us get our minds together, I pray thee, my Lord and Empress. Sorry for being so long.
That's a love, my lord. Well, the consensus, is that we start we network. We network with each other and with people on the land where we at. Thanks for information, enough, you can bring enough food in your house, outside. It have enough creative ways. Also, thanks for information, you have enough ways that you could use for fertilize your food and for insecticide your food as the insects don't come and it's natural. So just to seek it out, baking soda is a great thing too. So, we prepare ourselves so when we reach the better land, as the honorable priest said, we have a proper mindset, Yeah. So, so it's open, my lad. If not, we can let you come down. If any, lad, each man can put
To
the
the
feet up.
floor, my lad. Royal
Yes,
family.
bless them.
Greetings, love in the house. To our loved ones near and far, Give thanks. I have one more thing saying we like the item saying seeing we as we prepare when we self, Mind, body and soul, same way. The item can hear me, right?
Yes.
All right. So our next thing seeing we about the ganja seeing way, because I man come from a generation of, I can say, third generation of farming ganja, And we see that that's one of the things that have been penetrated through over the years. So yeah, as we're saying, even if we can cut back from the smoking, seeing we as being cognitive, because them things have man be cognitive, especially what they're putting in the herb today. That's the next thing there. If we can discipline ourselves, seeing we can, man. Right now, it's been a year now. I even challenge myself and willpower, haven't even smoked. You know, so that's the next good thing there. We can see and get in a line and getting balance back again and pH balance, knowing that the body, you know, yeah, because we have them same receptors in our body still, same way in our mind. Just so that, you know.
Give good word, my lad. Give thanks.
Chair, if I may
Honorable
ask.
Empress Maisie,
Yeah, I was saying to the chair for a while now, but I just humble.
I wasn't hearing you know.
No
Hardly
problem.
hear you.
No problem. Give thanks. Yes, honorable family, it is a privilege and an honor to come back and to catch this little part of the very important program this afternoon. You know, as we talk about the food, you understand, and what the bad chemical food are doing to our body. You understand? Even the other day, you know, first of all, I must say, because Rasta man and woman change their eating habit. You see? Because when I was growing up, and the elders them, the elder Rasta folks them, in them time, they never eat from shop. Oh, you understand? They never go by the supermarket. You never see them buying anything. They eat from their food that they plant without chemical. You understand? The Rasta man in them time never used to plant their food with no chemical. Not even their herbs. They used to plant with any chemical to get that the big name and that the name like what going to the day. You understand? And we used to get the good herb that when you get a little a parcel of herb and you fold it up on you and make a fist man, you could have take it and whop somebody and then get in a hard lick and it not pull up. Oh gummy, you know. And I tell those herb were. But today it is not so. When I sometimes I smell ones are smoking and you smell definitely the chemical that they are using, right, to grow the herbs to get better feelings or vibes or grades or these things that they're doing, and it is not good for them because it is mashing up their brain and giving them cancer and doing all kind of thing to the inside of their goody. The organs are mashing up because of the chemical that they are using. I went to the supermarket over here in Cayman that I'm visiting right now. And when I looked through the supermarket, some luscious and sweet pepper, them big subtle and shine, some big old pop chow, some whoppy cabbage, and this. And I said, Lord, these things are poison. And then the thing about them, they are so tough. They are not soft anymore like you used to take all a little 5 minutes and steam a cabbage. Them a cabbage are steam for all nearly if you not mind chop all 120 minutes. And them still not steam properly. You see, so these are the food that is coming to us right now. So as Priest Savannah asked the question, what I would do to my children, return them back to the earth, show them to plant how to plant the food, their own food to eat. Let them turn back to the soil, right? And plant their little vegetable and plant their little cocoa and whatever. Correct now, my son is there and he's planting and he's not using any chemical to plant. What he's growing for his family. You understand? So the mentality that my grandchildren then will be growing up, many others won't be having that mentality because of the chemical that they are eating. And that's why again their lifespan will not be 70 and over, right? They says they're gonna have a short lifespan. So family, Rastafari family, we should be stronger as Rastafari who know how these things are, how Babylon set them system. You see, but we just fall in the trap same way and we buying the things then giving our children them same way. You
True,
understand?
mama.
Yeah. But you know I eat proper food. You know, I look color look, but if you go and buy my chips, and him ready drink it off and happy. So these are the mentality that even we, the parents, is to be blamed.
Hmm.
Understand? For the next generation, they're not going to be strong like us. Because we grew up on the good old camel porridge, the coconut milk. No, they don't want to drink like a porridge, good old planting. They don't want to drink like a porridge and want to drink what? Milk and all the luscious thing that is not good. You understand? So, family, we have to look back into ourselves and see what we are going to do for the generation of tomorrow. It's going to be a serious thing, This program is very important, that's happening today, and because, I did not get to get all of it, but I get some, right? We have to look into what is happening to our children because when we are gone, it will be them, will be taking over. And if they are not well educated and strong within themselves, oh, they're going to manifest the work that we left for them to carry on. So we have a great work on our hands, family. And this is no time for us to play. We're in a serious time. The food is killing off our people and killing off, see how much Rasta man right now sick. Because them change their diet, drinking all kind of things, eating all kind of things. Praise Zebi, that gone. When I went to Bahamas for the first time, you know what he used to say on the altar? If you want to know how a Rasta man is living, visiting, just looking at a garbage pan, and you see how him is living. The kind of thing that he eat and throw in there. So, family, we have to take it in and try and save our children by trying making them eat properly. Because you see what happened? Their brain is not getting the brain food. So they are not strong in their meditation and all kind of little negativity come because what? The brain is weak. And what is the brain food? Come on, family, this is a wonderful program. I give thanks and have a chair and all to, the sisters them who have spoken. You've spoken well, mama. I am proud of my sisters them. And the brethren them too and everyone. So love you all and have a wonderful weekend. And these are my 2 cents towards this reasoning. Give thanks.
Give thanks, Honorable Empress Maisie.
My Lord.
Nice and spicy as usual.
What
And
is
any sealer before we bring it down, my lad?
The chair.
Summarize.
1 second.
The data them make one that one speak and then I will wrap up before 1 0. Yes,
All
sir.
I
right,
just
yeah.
Okay, and just doing a little quick research here to the chair. I'd like to just say that they're saying that all fruits are given a code with 4 numbers. Most times, like a banana would be given the code 4011. If there's a 9 in front of the 4, giving it 5 numbers, 5 digits, it's an organic product. Organic products, they are saying, carry 5 numbers with the 9 in front of it. And if it's GMO, it is 5 numbers with the 8 in front of it. So a banana would be given a code 4011. An organic banana would be given the code 94011. And a GMO or bioengineered banana would be given the code 84011 is what they're saying here. But I know that there are other numbers for other fruits, vegetables, and so forth. So that is just one thing. But do your own researches. Go on. Google is sometimes our best friend. But you can Google and see for yourself how you can identify what is more natural than what is not. Bless it.
Go
Back to the
ahead,
chair.
please.
Anybody else wanna speak? Wanna wrap up?
Yes,
the chair.
I would like to say something. I think it would be nice if we created an opportunity for us in our next reasoning to have ones who have knowledge. I know you mentioned Priest Rasavana that you have knowledge of the herbs. And I know Priest Dion, excuse me, Empress Dion does as well. about certain herbs, and there's so much in Jamaica, in the Caribbean overall. If we could have a reasoning around medicinal herbs, and we just share the benefits of those herbs so that we can start back focusing on our own medicine. I personally would like to talk about essential oils, and the benefits of certain oils, and others who have knowledge of certain things that we should know. Even if you're one that grows your food on a regular basis, what times of the year should certain things be grown, and things like that. I think that would be a very powerful reasoning to help us get started.
Give thanks for the give thanks for
Great
the idea.
suggestion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, give thanks for the suggestion. Give us something to think about.
Give thanks.
Well received. Well received. And another sister wanted to speak.
Through the chair, yes. Um, we need to go back to astrology. We need to study to study astrology, because this is what these people take and empower themselves. And they never bring it to us, to minor people, And they know we need to know that the earth is our pharmacy. Okay?
Yes, Mama. Hearing you.
Yes, earth is our pharmacy.
True
Because
word, mama.
everything comes from the earth. So we are way back, distracted way back. They bring us way back, away from our IFLs and our IF region. So we need to, come back down to earth. Yeah. Because we are strained. And this is taking us away. That's why even most time we used to chant lively, but now we realize some of these chant, make no sense, because we're chanting and the elders chanting, and because everything is coded, So we have to do it more down to earth, bring it back, bring things down to earth where people can, even from baby, can understand it.
Give thanks.
But a lot of things is said, and most of us don't over what he said. Because most of us cannot read, much less to decode. So they have everything hidden in the words. Yeah, so that's why we get backward and foolish,
Give thanks to the I being here.
Yes,
Emperor.
right.
Show that the
So
idea is a seed
this
of
thanks
knowledge.
to everyone, one great love,
Rastafari.
Hope we get more time to reason, upon all these things. Because it is said, come and let us reason, you know. But they
Natural.
don't give us any time. They're racing us to death.
Well, we are trying to
Yes.
make time every Sunday where we can come and pray up yourself.
Okay.
All
Yes,
right?
this
So
is,
you're
this is
always
very good.
welcome. Always
Yes, sir.
welcome.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fireman.
Blessed Lord.
Blessed. Yes,
Yes.
and uh, I'm going to give Mountie Man a plug, yes, so right now. You see, like, we're talking about health and organic and certain things. You see, roots drink, like what you see, Tree Snappy produce, is all barks and roots from rainforest plant. See, yeah, there's an old adage that says, let your food be your medicine and your medicine your food. Yeah, if we kind of over what they mean with that and put it into practice, our time will come, and we're going yard. But we don't have to go like them. Because there's another adage that says, if you live like them, you're gonna die like dogs. If you live like men, you're gonna die like dogs. See, so if we continue taking on the same practice where they are forcing us into, because they know the end result of it, Yeah, them have we live in some herd liberty. We live in a some them call it projects and these kind of thing, and we them have us shopping at the same place with the substandard food. Them, you understand? If we know that these are our enemy, the way we look at the thing clearly now. Especially those of I and I who are in first world countries like America, UK, Canada, so forth and so on. It's our same master, same enslavers, same colonial masters that provide all our amenities. And I'm saying that to say this. It's time we take up the Garvey's black print, self-sufficiency. Go back to, yeah, this is where a backward move is beneficial. You understand? Go forward to now producing our food. We have to start to educate. If I'm not doing it in school, then we have to supplement it and get it into our children and grandchildren. That planting your own food is essential to survival, whether you're making money or not. Because you're making the money and you're buying your thing and you die like dogs, like the thing said. See? So one of the solutions to the dilemma that is facing us as a people is to produce our own. Know where our food is coming from. We can go down and check Brother James. We know say it's Brother James product that on the market because of him. Yeah, him brand that, and there are certain fanatic organic people. Like in here in America, when I'm dealing with organics, when I'm dealing with supplements and things like that, I do my research. I know where my supplements are coming from because they did a research some years ago testing. They went into Whole Foods and took a portion of the supplements off the shelf and tested them randomly and found that majority of them did not have in the amount of what they were supposed to have. That means they were all substandard. So if the dosage that you're supposed to get is 5 milligrams and the bottle say it have 5 milligrams, you're not getting 5 milligrams. So it's not doing the job that you expect it to do. You have to do your research, make sure that the products that you are using are coming from reputable sources. And there's a way to do it. Information is there. It's a highway now. It's a web. Same way we Google for other little things. Yeah, Google and check it out. What products you're using. What supplements you're taking. Nature Pure. Nature Pure. It's Nature Pure establishment. Do they grow their herbs? How do they grow their herbs? You see all of that. All of that is there. It's in your COA, their certificate of analysis, and they have to display it somewhere on their website or somewhere out there in their brochure. See? So do our research, family, and let us work towards becoming more independent. Teach it to the children. So we have to do more programs geared towards educating the children towards biodiversity. Bless you, love.
Natural, my love. Good thanks, for all that have been said and done this evening, yeah. Glorify the companionship, of the brethren and sisters. May I have the Honorable Priest Snappy, if you could bless us with the closing prayer, my Lord. Priest Snappy, yeah, yeah, we.
I'm on a move, bro.
All right, like Priest Snappy. The Honorable Priest Brown, my Lord. Can I bless you with the closing
Snappy
prayer?
just muted his mic.
Oh, all right, Priest Snappy.
I'm saying I'm here.
fugitives and I can't really talk now. All right?
Eh?
I'm not in a position.
What Priest Nappy say? Him can't do it?
Yeah, no, I'm not in a position.
Okay. Priest Brown,
Royal Majesty, my Lord and Empress,
blessed love, you could have blessed us with the closing prayer.
with all honor and majesty, my Lord,
Blessed.
I will lift mine eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord who created heaven and earth. Jah will not suffer our foot to be moved. He that keepeth thine eye neither slumber nor sleep. As thou keep our shade upon our right hand. Holy Emmanuel eyes, Selassie eyes, Jah, Rastafari. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for I and I, as brethren and sisters, to dwell together in unity and love. 'Tis like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down the beard, even Aaron's beard that precept that ran down to the skirt of his garment. Like the dew of Hermon, that dew that descended on the mountain of Zion. For there the Most High hath commanded his blessings, even life and love forevermore. So hear, Lord God, Celestial, Jehovah God, Rastafari. Almighty God, Rastafari, great and terrible God, Rastafari is the Almighty God. Jah, who seated in Zion, and reigneth in the hearts of all flesh. O thou most high, eternal Father, Jehovah God, Rastafari. Hear us and bless us, O most high, keep and sanctify us all. Cause thy holy face to shine upon us thy children, that we shall be saved and redeemed. O thou most high God, Jah,
Yeah.
Rastafari.
Rastafari.
Bless and sanctify and keep us all as we endeavor for the preservation of creation. My Lord and Emperor.
Honorable Priest, my Lord, give thanks. Rastafari.
My Lord.
Yes, my Lord and Empress, do give thanks for another day of reasoning.
My Lord and Empress.
My Lord, blessed and majesty, bless my Lord.
Shall be with everyone until we meet again, until we
Till we
greet
meet
again.
again.
Shall be with
Yes.
everyone.